There we go. Welcome, everybody. This is such a fun world to navigate. I'm going to go with that. It's definitely has its challenges, but I'm really grateful to be here with you again this afternoon on Sunday, October 4th. And I welcome anybody who's new coming today. My name is Sharon Holly. I am a certified yoga therapist, and I'm here to provide you with some support today in yoga and how it can help you with the side effects of cancer, of surgeries, of treatments, all that stuff. I'd love to say that there's a magical answer and that just one thing is going to make everything go away, or certain things are going to make everything go away. But of course, I don't have that ability. But what I can do is provide you with some tools and some some breathing techniques and some movements that I know have worked for myself as well as some of my students different times, and reminding you'll be tired of hearing me say this throughout the conference, but everything is an invitation, right? So it's not required. This is all for you to try, and there might be a day that you try something and it works, and there might be a day you try something and it doesn't work. And, I'm glad you're here because that means you're open to the possibility of what else might be out there to support you. Everybody is different. I've shared that before. It's we're all individuals, and what one person needs might be different from someone else. So look at these as kind of general ideas. When I work with someone one-on-one, I can be very specific and we can try things out. So imagine that. Imagine I'm with you and we're one-on-one and you're trying this out. Look at it that way. And hopefully to do it with kindness and compassion and not frustration. But I know sometimes that can come up as well, right? So noticing all of our feelings, that's our yoga. So for those of you who've been with me for the last few days, you might see some repetition, and that's a good thing because then it starts to seep into your brain. I know I'm someone who needs things repeated several times. And so for me, that repetition is helpful. So I hope it is for you too. And, each thing is going to build on it. So because we're talking about side effects today, some of the things I know that have been supported for pain, for lymphedema, which we've covered both of those a little bit already, but I'm going to talk a little bit more. Fatigue, range of motion I've talked about. Of course, range of motion can be limited due to scar tissue from surgeries, from radiation, of course. Bone density that can be affected, our balance issues, and of course, nausea, right? And so all of these are going to be addressed today at some point or another. If I miss anything, please let me know. But if there's anything, you have questions about, you can always send me messages in Huva. And I will say on Wednesday, I'm going to have a Q&A after we start our daily practice. So the first steps to living well program is going to start this Wednesday at 2 p.m. And I'm going to be taking you through a 10-day yoga program that is going to help you to build a daily program. So it's going to be several of these things. It's just going to be a 30-minute program. So I'm going to pick, certain ones out. And we're going to just keep, building on those, developing them over the course of 10 days. And so I invite you to, to come to that. And if you can't to, watch the recording later. But again, there'll be a Q&A after that if you didn't get a chance to ask things today, or if you're watching this later. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So basically how I'm going to do this is we're going to do a practice. And then during the practice, I might mention things. This would be helpful for this. This will be helpful. May be helpful for that. You might even notice it on your own, right? So as we begin, make sure you have some water nearby. Stay hydrated throughout this practice. Mine's just off camera over there. So make sure you have your water and that you come into a comfortable position. So my students always know, I always say, come into whatever position feels best for you. You might stand, you might sit, you might be sitting on the ground, on a mat. You could be in your bed, in a chair. Just make sure that you're supported, that you have something maybe, with a back that has some support, or sit up against the wall, right? So we want to think about our posture. That's super important as we come into our practice. And we want to think about prana. Prana is our life force, our energy. We want to think about that flowing through our body. It's similar to qi in Chinese medicine. And so we want, if we're hunched over or we're, in this position, it's hard for our chi to flow. So thinking about our chi flowing, maybe roll the shoulders back for a moment. For those of you who've been in New York with all the wonderful programming they've had over the weekend, I know maybe you did some of that movement class, which was amazing. And this is going to be a little bit more of a calming class. And so, and that is because I'm focusing on the nervous system. And tomorrow at 2:30, I'm just going to put that in here right now. I'm going to talk for 30 minutes just about the nervous system. Now I'm going to actually let you experience your nervous system, right? Calming down. And that's when the body can start to, again, rebalance, reset. And so things that are firing off that are in pain or agita or agitation can start to calm down. That's what our focus is. So if it's comfortable for you to close the eyes, gently close your eyes or find a soft gaze and just begin to settle into this moment. And becoming aware of the sensation of your body and where it's connecting to the earth. Just noticing that. Feeling the support of the earth beneath you. And then perhaps focusing your attention on your breath, noticing your breath. Where do you experience it? In your nose, throat, chest, or belly? Just feel that gentle flow of breath moving through your body. I invite you, if it's comfortable for you, to bring a hand to the belly, hand to the chest, or hand to the belly. Leave them on your thighs, right? Wherever. Sometimes I like to bring a hand to my belly just to see if I can feel the breath rising up as I inhale, right? And as I exhale, gently hugging back towards the spine. And then the hand for the heart sometimes just reminds me to be gentle to myself, to be kind to myself as I move into this practice today, for helping my body to heal, for helping my body to shift back into balance, right? Allowing the cells to heal. And as I breathe in and out, feeling that flow of breath and checking in with how does my energy feel today in this moment? How is my energy? Maybe I've already done a lot of movement today and I want to take it easy. Maybe I haven't done a lot of movement. I want to move, right? So checking in with yourself. And the fatigue can be a tricky thing to deal with because oftentimes, when it's from, of course, treatments, we know that means the treatments are doing their job and they're working on all of our cells. And so our body gets tired. So when to rest and when to exercise. And we find that line. It might be like walking a tightrope, finding that balance. And it might be a little bit of both. You might start resting and then you might get some energy during class. You might have energy now and then you need to rest. So listening to your body. So just feeling that gentle rise and fall of the chest and the belly. And then perhaps letting your hands rest back down by your sides, onto your thighs, wherever feels most comfortable. And I just want to invite you that if your body needs calming, right? If your body needs calming, then we're going to focus on the exhalation. And if you're feeling like you need energy, we're going to focus on the inhalation. So I'm going to practice both of those throughout today. So you get to experience it and see what happens in your body in those moments. So from here, maybe taking a nice inhale through the nose, exhale out of the mouth. Maybe another one just like that. Perhaps breathing in, what is it that you'd like to bring into your practice today? Maybe ease, calm, strength. And as you exhale, letting go of that which no longer serves you, If your eyes are closed and you'd like to gently open them, coming back into this space, right? And just thinking of those words, if they're helpful for you, we call that a mantra, right? Breathing into your body what it is you would like to bring in, and releasing out back into the universe that which no longer serves you. So I'm going to go ahead and remind us yesterday what we did a little bit to begin, just to inhale, extend the fingers out, right? And go ahead and as you exhale, squeeze the fingers in. So we talked about doing this for, for lymphedema, right? But this can also be for neuropathy, if we're feeling neuropathy in our fingers, in our hands, right? And also this can be helpful for arthritis. So just beginning to squeeze and release, just as comfortable as it is for you. Now, maybe some fingers are tight. Maybe it's just moving a little finger at a time. Maybe it's not the whole hand. Maybe it is. So just moving your hands, your fingers, maybe it's wiggling. Thinking about bringing some movement into your extremities, into your fingers, in whatever way is going to be most comfortable for you. Okay. And then from here, we're going to begin to gently look over one shoulder
to use video
back to center.
So I didn't have a third one, so
and look over the other shoulder.
I'm just calling it on the phone.
You can keep wiggling fingers or stretching. It's totally up to you. You can just let your hands relax back onto your thighs. Just notice how far your neck goes as you move from side to side. Remembering we have a lot of lymph nodes in the neck, right? So we're beginning to kind of awaken here.
Right.
Maybe from here we'll tilt the chin forward, come back to center, look up. So just beginning to stretch into the cervical spine.
But I just haven't set up a third.
Following your pattern of breath. So I'm not focused on the breath in any specific way right now, just easeful, maybe tilting an ear towards the shoulder. Right, this is a great little warm-up series for the neck. This is great to do throughout the day. Maybe a circle around into the opposite direction.
Oh, great, great.
Anytime you want to exhale out of the mouth, feel free. As you make your way back to center, we're going to go ahead and roll the shoulders forward, up and back. Opening out across the chest here. Okay, so now you may have finished surgeries recently. You may have tightness, right? So just move within the range of motion that feels helpful for you. Now, if you have pain, I invite you also to focus on the exhale, okay? And when I say pain-free range of motion, what we want to do is move only into the place where we do not feel pain, and whether that's due to surgery or just our body in this moment. So I'm going to show you the cat-cow. We did this again before, but if you're first here today, we do is slide the hands forward as we curl the spine looking towards the chest, okay? And as we inhale, sliding the hands back looking up towards the ceiling, okay? So if you're doing this and you find when you get to a certain place, you're like, ooh, that hurts. But if you're here and it doesn't hurt, then just move here, okay? Now again, our fingers are gliding along our pants. So bringing blood flow into our fingers again for the neuropathy. Inhale and exhale. We're going to get to the feet too, so don't worry about that. So inhale and exhale. So coming back to center. Now, there are some times when we have things we need to do in our day that, say it's a regular activity, we need to go pick something up and there's some pain going on in that. If there's another way we can find to do that, what I invite you to do is take an inhale, and as you exhale, move into that place. Again, maybe you can support yourself in a way that doesn't cause pain. So what we're going to do here is we're going to inhale and maybe bring the arms up to cactus. So see how that feels for you, and your shoulders across your chest. Again, if you've had surgeries, if you want to go up higher and that feels okay for you, feel free to go up higher. Just go where it feels best. Maybe it's just one arm. Now, thinking about this, making sure you're not hunching up in your shoulders, okay? Now, as you exhale, we're going to go ahead and turn over and look over one shoulder. We're going to stay there and inhale and come back to center, exhale. This is a great technique we call moving on the exhale, okay? We're going to inhale again here. Exhale, look over the other shoulder. Come back to center. On the exhale only, okay? Stay here for the inhale. Exhale one more time, looking over your shoulder to this. Again, no pain. Inhale. Exhale back to center. One more time. Stay here and inhale. Exhale, look over the other shoulder. Stay and inhale. Exhale back to center. Let the arms rest. Maybe roll the shoulders, okay? So we call that Lungana, lengthening breath. And Lungana helps when we have pain in our body, and there are times when we're just moving in our daily activities and it hurts and we need to take a step, we need to move. So I invite you to take an inhale first and exhale, take that step, okay? So I'm going to use that in just a little bit as well. I'm going to show you as we go to stand. For now, for those who choose to, okay? For now, we're going to go ahead and take your feet and just look at them. Maybe move a little forward. If you're sitting in a chair, wherever you are, just take a look at your feet. If you can place them on the floor where you are, just want to take a look at the spaces between your toes. I'm thinking, I feel like my toes move out of frame when I do that, don't I? Maybe I'll move back a little bit. I can see my feet, but I can see my feet. So just looking at your toes and see if you can spread your toes. Now, if there's some neuropathy there and some numbness, it might be really hard to do so, okay? Now, I'm going to invite you to do a little bit of a massage, a foot massage with me, okay? So that might be again, maybe you're in a different position to do this. If it's okay for you to pull one leg up onto the other side, what we're going to do is we're just going to take our fingers and just press into the bottoms of our feet, okay? Just to press, just to kind of, again, bring blood flow into the area. Remember, right, the neuropathy, there's a blockage here. And so we want to kind of remind the body, come on, go into that area, get some blood flow. Waking up the bottoms of the feet, waking up the toes, okay? However feels good for you. Maybe it's pressing, maybe it's gliding. So there's so many different techniques. There's acupressure you can look up. There's, oh my gosh, I'm spacing on the other technique right now. But I invite you to look into that, right? And so when you wake up, just again, it could just be tapping the foot, waking up. And if you look, there's every part of the foot is mapped to the body. I'm not going into that now. That's not my area of expertise, but I know it's really cool. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my fingers and I'm going to see if I can place them in between each of my toes. Now, this might be a little challenging. If you have any lotion nearby that you like to use, sometimes that's a little helpful to get in there. And I'm just going to go ahead and make some circles with my feet, okay? So by getting in between the toes, I'm kind of, again, getting into the blood flow down into each of the toes, making a little circle a few times in one direction and the other direction, right? Continuing to breathe here. Okay. And then see if you can let your hand do the job. It's interesting because you feel like my hand is doing all the work right now, right? And then letting my foot, my ankle rotate. So it's interesting if I can just let my foot relax. This is scheduled to be live. And move here, okay? I'm going to undo my fingers, let my fingers out, and then place my foot back down and take a look at my toes again and see the spaces in between the toes. Well, it's see if you can see now my toes are a little more, have a little more color to them right now, a little more pink in there. So just notice if you're noticing a different shade of color in your toes, that lets you know maybe some blood flow is getting into there. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and do the other side. So again, just finding here. It's nice to give ourselves a little bit of a foot massage, right? Our feet do so much for us throughout the day.
Yes. And then also
just waking up the nerve endings on the bottoms of the feet as we do this, right? Waking them up.
Home in LA Facebook page.
And then perhaps on this side again, maybe tapping or however feels good for you. Maybe placing the fingers in between each of the toes again, and make some circles on this side. Just going to come up for 1 second here. Okay. I'm assuming you're able to hear me. Darren, I'm looking at the chat and I see some people are having difficulties. Can you, can everybody hear me as I'm doing this? On the issue of celebrity. Okay.
Depending on how people
have Darren is still on
I know that
as well.
choose to turn
We're
those
hearing
off.
there. Maybe you've seen
But,
that. Okay.
yes,
Sorry, I
there
had to
will
come up
be,
there to be able to see that.
I
So,
would say probably a
all
large
right. So I'm going to go ahead and
percentage will get
splay my
relaxation.
toes and now
If they're
take a
on
look at
Facebook,
them
that
and
Susan probably
see
has
the
gone live.
spaces between my toes. Okay. And what a difference that makes. So just noticing, maybe there's a little difference today for you, maybe there isn't, but a practice of that, doing that as much as feels comfortable for you. Okay. So from here, now that we've woken up our toes and our feet a little bit, I want to come up and do a little bit of standing poses potentially.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't feel like standing today, you're welcome to do this lying down.
And they like what they
okay,
see,
or seated. And I'm going to show you the seated version first.
I think they call it
and what we're going to do is we're going to balance out the hemispheres of the brain by doing a little bit of, we call it the cross crawl, so it's opposite
their friends to come
side, opposite movements, okay? Now, see how you feel. How is your energy? We're going to take a couple of breaths here, and maybe what we're going to do is we call this the 50-50 breath. So I'm going to inhale 50% of what I feel like I can inhale, and then again another inhale to fill up 100%, and then exhale out. So I'm doing it through the nose. You can do it through the nose, the mouth. So again, inhale 50%, another 50%, and exhale out. Now I'm going to add my arms to this. I'm going to do both arms for a moment at a time. I'm going to inhale 50, inhale again, and exhale out. And again, inhale 50, another 50, and exhale out. Let my arms rest down by my side. So notice how that feels. We call this is a Brahmana breathing, right? This is a waking up breathing, okay? So I'm going to invite you to try that and see how that feels. If it feels restrictive or uncomfortable for any reason, I invite you to go back to your regular breathing, okay? So we talked about Lungana before, which was moving on the exhale. This is a Brahmana. It's like an awakening breath. So if you're feeling a little fatigue and you feel like you have a little energy, you want to do a little bit of movement, then join me. If you feel like you need to rest, we're going to reset your nervous system, okay? And so from here, making sure that you engage your abdominals. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to inhale just one arm up, 50%, and then maybe even extend it up another 50%. And then exhale back down.
Have a little bit of time just to control.
And then from here, I'm going to let this other arm rest, and I might go ahead and lift my opposite leg.
Remind everybody that as soon as you're logged in,
and exhale back down. So just moving the leg once. So depending upon your back, this might feel good. This might
it's the primary thing on the
chair.
screen, so you're not maybe as you're moving around on the camera, getting set or whatever.
Okay, so that's the seated version.
Of course, you want to mute your
I'm going to do one more on I'm going to do the opposite side
here.
So inhale.
The webinar is live. We just
back down.
People as a world don't log in early.
It could be just one swoop, one time.
Pretty much on the top of the hour. So.
Okay, so that's our seated version. Now I'm going to invite us to stand.
Actually, it's best.
And I'm going to do this with moving on the exhale, as I mentioned before. So if anybody does have pain when they go to stand up, I'm going to invite you to inhale here.
Otherwise, I can surprise you.
And then as you exhale, come and stand up. Okay. So noticing how that feels. That gives us a little bit of strength. It helps engages the abdominals, gives us a little bit of oomph to get moving, and hopefully support us if we're feeling pain. So something I invite you to practice, right? If you have to reach for something and it's just, again, a daily activity, if there's something you can avoid for pain, I invite you to avoid it. But if there's something, it's a daily activity and you need to pick up something, take an exhale. Breathe in first and then reach, exhale. Okay. So if any of these do not feel good for you right now, I don't want you to push into pain. I just want to be clear. I'm only talking about if you have something that you need to do on a daily basis, right? Putting on a shirt, right? Getting dressed, if something like that is uncomfortable for you and you need to do that. Actually, we could even practice that here. So we're going to go ahead and maybe take an inhale. Sorry, here, right? Open up the arms, take an inhale. And then on an exhale, go ahead and cross your arms over. Stay here for the inhale. Exhale, go ahead and bring your arms up and around. Coming back down. Inhale and exhale. Stay here for the inhale. One more time, maybe cross the arms in the opposite direction and exhale. And release back down. Beautiful. So coming back to our balancing, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn my chair to the side. So just in case you feel like you need a little support, right? So depending upon how your toes feel, let's go ahead and splay them again, press them into the earth, maybe rock a little bit back and forth. Okay, so see how steady you feel. If there's some, again, neuropathy going on and you have numbness, then really be gentle. Make sure you have a wall, a chair, something nearby if you're choosing to stand with me. Okay, maybe coming onto the toes a little bit. Okay, coming back down. And again, you're welcome to do this seated. You can press up onto your toes and come back down. If it's too much to do both sides, you can go ahead and press one side and come back down, and the other side. Again, bringing blood flow, pressing into the feet, one and then the other. Use the exhale. So if the toes hurt, if you're finding that as you do this, because I know sometimes if there's the neuropathy or arthritis, it can be painful, but it starts to ease up as you're doing it. If the pain starts to ease up, then being mindful, just go a little bit at a time. We call this krama. We do a little bit and then back off, right? So maybe coming all the way up is not accessible today, but maybe just lifting a little bit and coming back down. Use your exhale. And noticing if it loosens up at all, okay? Doing both sides, one side, what feels best for you. And then pausing, letting that settle for a moment, checking in, notice what you feel. So again, we know that some of these medicines mess with our bones and our balance. And so balance and strength can be really helpful to start. Again, we want to build our proprioception. So if you know that balance is an issue for you, especially if there's neuropathy going on, definitely use support. So you're welcome here to just do what I did. So coming up onto the toes, and we're just going to do regular breathing right now. I'm not going to bring I'm going to bring the other breath in for the next movement. I just want to do a regular breath here, coming onto the toes of one foot and then bringing the opposite arm up wherever feels comfortable for you. Maybe it's cactus, maybe it's up extended, right? And then come back down, right? So go ahead and inhale, bring the arm up, the foot off the ground, and come back down. Now, if that felt okay for you and you feel like you can do a little balance, maybe engaging your abdominals and coming up. Notice I have my hand on the chair and back down. Okay, opposite arm and leg. This helps to balance both hemispheres of the brain, calms the nervous system, right? Unless we're doing too much, then it's going to agitate the nervous system. So you get to be the judge of that. Okay. If this feels okay for you and you want to play and stay here a little bit longer, take a few breaths. Feel your standing foot rooting down into the earth, right? Playing with balance. If that foot feels okay, you can feel your toes. You don't notice neuropathy today, you might take the hand off. You might wobble a little bit. That's okay. See how you feel. Coming back down. I'm going to take my chair, move it over to the other side. You can just switch sides. You can turn around. You can do whatever you need to do on your side. I just want to make sure that I'm facing the camera, right? So I'm going to come onto the toes on this side and bring it back down. And then maybe raise the arm. Again, cactus or not. Maybe it's here. Where is your movement today? Because the bottom line is if you are experiencing restricted range of motion from surgeries, over time, right, scar tissue builds up. So whatever you can do to move, even just a little bit, even if it's a little bit, even if it's blood flow, you're starting to break up that scar tissue. And we want to do a little bit over time, okay? So maybe raising that leg up. So Listen to your body. Only do as much as feels comfortable for you. But the good news is it can change, right? But we want to be gentle and kind. Opposite arm and leg. And the next time the arm comes up and the leg comes up, stay here and breathe. And notice how you're breathing. Do not worry about doing it right or wrong. Notice how your pattern might have shifted. Your body's doing what's probably finding most comfortable and easeful for you, right? Maybe the arm comes up, maybe not. So see what feels best for you with your balancing today. Again, thinking about how you're doing this seated. It can be done in a chair, as I showed you before. Coming back down. Wiggle out both feet again. So as much as you can press into your feet, even when you're sitting right in front of the computer, you can be pressing your feet just like so. Right? You can be splaying your fingers. Splaying your fingers. Okay. Again, just to the point where there's no pain. Maybe it's wiggling. Maybe it's massaging the hands. We're going to do a couple little things at the end, towards the end with our hands and our fingers. Okay. So from here, so let's say you're feeling kind of sluggish, but you do know that a little bit of movement is going to help you in your day. And you just need a little pick-me-up. Okay. So I'm going to focus here again on the Brahmana breathing. And what we're going to do is we're going to come into a warrior one pose. And what that looks like is I'm going to step 1 foot forward. Actually, I'm going to move this off here. So I'm going to step 1 foot forward and 1 foot back. Now my feet are where my front heel is in line with the middle of my back foot, or maybe even the heel. This is called a warrior one stance. When I bend into my knee, I want to make sure my knee's not going past my toes. I'm realizing these pants are blending in with the background, aren't they? Not a good idea. I'm just seeing that now. I'm so sorry. I will make note of that. I should have put on the red ones or the black ones today. Anyway, okay, so bending and straightening, making sure the knee's not going past the toes. It's in line with the second toe. Okay, so if I look at camera, basically I'm moving in and out just like so, if anybody's not familiar with the warrior one pose. Okay, so from here, I'm going to bring that 50% breath back in. So as I inhale, 50% here, and then the other inhale here, and I'm going to exhale nice and long, straighten the leg, bring the arms back down. Okay, I just realized something. I can move this a little bit here. Get a little bit of white. I know that I've got the window. I don't want too much light in, but maybe you can see a little bit better there. Okay, so inhale 50%, another 50%, exhale. We'll do that 2 more times. 50%, 50%, exhale back. 1 more time. Notice my back. Notice I'm not dipping. I'm not arching here. I'm keeping my back upright. Nice long spine. And exhale back. Beautiful. Okay. Now, if you needed your chair, realizing that here, you can do this with the chair here too, right? You have your chair. We're going to go ahead and switch feet. Switch sides. Okay, get yourself situated here. We're going to bend into that front knee. Check in, make sure it's not going past the toes. It's not going too far out or too far in. Get yourself set up and see how this feels on this side. Maybe you need to hold on with one arm and you're just doing one arm, right? So maybe it's 50%, the other 50%. And exhale back down. Doing that again, 50, 50, exhale back down. 2 more. And when you're ready, take that pause, bring that back foot forward and check in. I invite you to stand in our mountain pose, our Tadasana pose. Palms open, chest, heart open. Feel your feet in the earth, connecting. Feel your body standing, the crown of your head reaching towards the ceiling. Noticing your breath. Perhaps feeling your heart rate. Maybe it's increased a little bit, right? Feeling our prana flow. And we start to move into the upper body. We're starting to wake up by moving our arms, By doing this 50-50 breath, we're starting to awaken a little bit, potentially. If you're feeling super tired, that means your body needs to rest. We're going to be doing that shortly. If you need to rest at any time, you can come sit back down, you can come lie down, right? Please listen to your body. Beautiful. Take one more breath here. Maybe sigh out through the mouth. So I'm going to come back to my chair for a second, and I just want to maybe do a little bit of rocking back and forth once again on the feet. So this is, again, another little way. This is nice to do when you come back in from a walk, maybe stretching the back of the hamstring and the calf. All right, we can stretch here. Maybe stay for an extra breath or two. Notice my long spine here. Right, feeling a nice stretch in the back of the hamstring, the back of the leg, the hamstring or the calf muscle. Placing that foot back down, switching sides, back and forth. And then coming back again here, few breaths. See if you can notice your jaw, your shoulders. Where might you be holding tension? Can you relax and release? Beautiful, coming back up. Okay. So before we come back down onto the chair, onto the ground, just want to do a little bit of an upper body, the slide side stretch, right? So this is one of the original triangles. It's a different way to do triangle pose in yoga, but with the feet facing forward. We're going to do that breath again, okay? So typically we inhale and come back up to exhale. So let's try that 50%. So inhale 50%, and then the whole 50%. And exhale, come all the way back up. Again, this is a choice. You can do this seated, you can do it lying down, you can skip it. You might choose to add the opposite arm in. One more, I kind of messed up on that last one, didn't I? There is no wrong right way, right? It's however we do it. Check in for a moment. Notice the difference between your two sides up. So we just did that nice side bend. We're going to go ahead and roll the shoulders. Now, if you're feeling out of breath or you're feeling uncomfortable, again, go back to our regular breathing. So again, 50% or just sliding to the side and coming back up. Remembering that the Brahmana breathing is more of a heating breath, which we typically don't want to do a lot of as we're going through treatment. So just a little bit here and there if we need to wake up. That's the only reason I'm bringing it in, just a little bit of waking up, maybe extending that arm up and over. So this is, again, I look at this like a little smorgasbord of things that you might try and see how they make you feel. If there's any discomfort, you skip them. We're going to come right back and roll the shoulders forward, up, and back. Beautiful. Okay. And as now we're going to move towards relaxation. I'm going to come back into my chair. And then, so that reminder too, right? So fatigue oftentimes, there's sometimes an idea of how to push through. But if we think about the fact that our medicines are doing their job, and if we can let our body rest, and we can do some restorative rest, that can be really beneficial to reset our system, okay, and get us back to where we do feel refreshed. And I've heard that often from students in my classes. So after, we're just going to do a couple of things here. We're going to come down to the ground. I'm going to take you through a little mini yoga nidra meditation. So, and I'll talk about that as I get there, but I just wanted to let you know, in case you're feeling like you need to come and lie down, you're welcome to. So I'm going to come to the front of my chair, and I'm just going to do what we call a little windshield wiper twist. So I'm going to let my knees drop in and then just stretch to one side. The idea is to get a little stretch in the front of the thigh. This is something that I do sometimes lying down too. So that can be an option. I'm going to come there actually onto the ground next. But I just wanted to show this option here for those of you who do not want to come down onto the ground. Again, you can do it. You can come onto your bed if you want, if you're in your bedroom. If you want to stay in the chair, you can stay in the chair. So I just wanted to kind of show that example. We're going to come down. I'm going to come down onto my back, and I'm going to bring single knee to the chest and give myself a little hug to stretch the low back. So if you're seated, again, make sure you have a support. You might go ahead and bring a knee up into your chest if that feels okay for you. If it doesn't feel okay for you, just stay here. Maybe extend the legs out, point and flex the toes. Just find a little bit of a movement that feels good. We're just kind of winding down the body to come into this meditation relaxation, which can be done seated or lying down, okay? So from here, I'm going to go ahead and bring my chair. I'm going to give, the option. So one of the side effects I haven't covered yet is nausea, okay? And nausea can be a really tricky thing. So I'm going to kind of come down and speak to that for a moment. So there are some acupressure techniques. Again, I invite you to look them up. And I believe one is where you bring your fingers into the web between your thumb and your first finger to help with that. But the idea is that in yoga, to get oxygen to the belly, through the body, and again, to calm the nervous system down, it's upset. And so that the ways of doing that might be possible by coming into a resting position, as I did yesterday for lymphedema with the legs up on a chair on the wall. I do want to mention that that's not something, if you have high blood pressure or there's a reason you shouldn't have undue pressure to your head, glaucoma, you don't want to put your legs up above. You don't have your feet up above your head. I didn't say that. I'm going to add that into the notes for the practice from yesterday or from Friday, actually. But yeah, so think about that. If you have high blood pressure, you don't want to put your legs up unless the doctor says it's okay. So all of this, of course, you want to be checking with a doctor on, but that can be very relaxing and covering the eyes and deep breathing, right? So that's what I like to share with people for the nausea. Just where can I calm my nervous system? Deep abdominal belly breathing, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and pooch my chair out of the way just for a moment as I come onto my back. And because we did some standing poses, I just want to go ahead and come on lying down, bring my knees into my chest, and just rock from side to side, massaging the low back. Okay, so maybe it's one knee into the chest at a time, if that feels better for you. Okay. And as I'm thinking about this too, it's important that, maybe I'll talk about this during the week, to make sure that you haven't eaten for like an hour before you do a yoga practice. Okay. So maybe bringing both knees in one more time, giving a little rock from side to side. And then see, where do you want to come into a rest today? Do you want to have your knees touching here? Okay. And I did want to also show you, this is a windshield wiper twist on the ground. The feet are wide as the mat, the knees drop out to one side and then back to center and over to the other side. This is the windshield wiper twist we did seated. So this is the way to do it lying down. This can be done moving just on the exhale. We'll be playing with these during the week in our practices, okay? But if you do feel like you want to put your legs up on the chair, you might bring your legs up on the chair. Maybe your hands on the belly. Hands by your sides, whatever feels most comfortable for you. And I'm going to invite you here, if it's comfortable, to close your eyes. And just begin to become aware of your body resting on whatever surface it's resting upon. And see if you can allow your body to sink into all the points of contact that it's making. Becoming aware of sounds that you might hear off in the distance. and noticing sounds nearby. Becoming aware of the sound of your breath. And as you begin to observe your breath, just allowing it to flow through you with a sense of ease. And I invite you to call into your awareness an intention for yourself. And I'm thinking about, as you came to this workshop today, perhaps you're looking for ease in your body. Perhaps you're looking for peace. Maybe you're looking for strength. Whatever it is, creating a short statement in the present tense, as if it's already happened. My body and mind remain at ease and peaceful. That might be your intention for today, or something like that. Whatever it is that feels good for you. And state it to yourself 3 times silently. And then I'm going to invite you to bring attention to different areas of your body as I call them out. You don't need to move any part of your physical body, just your awareness. So we're going to begin on the right side of the body, beginning with the right hand thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and pinky finger. The palm of the right hand, the back of the right hand, the wrist, lower arm, elbow, upper arm, right shoulder and underarm, right side of the torso, the hip, thigh, knee, lower leg, ankle, heel, sole of the foot, top of the foot, right big toe, second, third, fourth, and little toe. Loading your attention over to the left side of the body, beginning with the left hand thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and pinky finger. The palm of the left hand, back of the left hand, wrist, lower arm, elbow, upper arm, left shoulder and underarm, left side of the torso, the hip, thigh, knee, lower leg, ankle, heel, sole of the foot, top of the foot, left big toe, second, third, fourth, and little toe. Loading your attention now up to the crown of your head, your forehead, eyebrows and eyes, ears, cheeks, nose, lips, tongue, jaw, both sides of the neck, the collarbones, ribs, lungs, heart center, moving to the back of the body, the shoulder blades, the middle back, lower back, and the buttocks, backs of the thighs, the knees, the calves, and the heels. Sensing into the whole back of your body. Notice the whole back of your body feeling supported by the surface that you're resting upon. Letting your body sink into the earth. Noticing the whole front of your body. allowing all the muscles in the front of your body to melt, relax, restore. As you let go of the rotation and keep your attention focused on the breath, observing each breath as it moves in and out, in and out. Just observing your breath with a sense of ease. And beginning to count each breath silently to yourself from 18 to 0. I will get you started. Inhale 18. Exhale 18. Inhale 17. Exhale 17. Continuing on your own, counting each breath silently to yourself. And if you find that you lose track of the count, or you get to 0, just begin again at 18, allowing each breath to bring you a sense of ease and peace.